ran into him at a nail salon that we go to, and I had my mother with me, and she never met him, and she's like telling him how, I feel like I know you. Well, they sat down and they talked for like 30 minutes, and before you know it, he offered my 79-year-old mother a job.
You know, I was really struck with how involved in the business he was, and the fighting spirit of a 45-year-old with killer instinct.
I was in a meeting at the corporate office, and he came in and the door just blew open, and he stood just over my shoulder, and he takes his hand and he starts going like this on the top of my head. And he said, "Do you know what this is?" And I looked at him and I said, "A spider?" And he said, "Have I told you this joke before?"
Going to any valet in town, people knowing him by name. "Hello, Mr. C, how you doing? We'll take care of you right away."
I remember one time when we were trying to land a contract in Atlantic City for a wedding chapel. Mr. C hadn't been back there probably in a year. It'd been at least a year. We pulled up in a rental car at Caesars, and we get out of the car, and the valet guy comes right up and he says, "Nice to see you again, Mr. Cashman," and takes the keys. And I was just, I was shocked.
I also had the honor of walking around the Consumer Electronics Show with him and seeing all the vendors approaching him, trying to sell him on a new idea, because they knew all they had to do was show him something cool and he would totally buy into it.
And one of the stories he used to love to tell me, he was telling me that when he was bar mitzvahed, the man who owned the movie theater in town knew how much he loved the movies, so he gave him free passes to the movies, as much as he wanted to go, for a full year on his bar mitzvah. The other part of the story is, the very week after his bar mitzvah, a movie called The Red Shoes opened, and it ran for 111 weeks.
His knowledge, his experience, the things that he knew, the things he shared, and the way he just, accepted me into the family.
When Mr. Cashman calls you down to his office, you run, not walk. And don't forget your notepad, because you know you're about to learn something from the most wisest person in the company.
You couldn't walk into his office without learning something new or having him teach you something. It was unreal.
I was about 19 years old. I had just taken the position I'm in, and he invited me to lunch, and I didn't really know what to expect or what that looked like. So I eagerly agreed, and we got in the Rolls Royce, and he drove, of course, which was exciting in and all of itself. And a couple of minutes later, we pulled into the parking lot at Burger King just down the street.
We got in the Rolls Royce and cruised through the Carl's Jr. up on Spring Mountain.
Driving through a McDonald's drive-thru in a Rolls Royce.
Popeyes.
Wendy's. We drove a Bentley to Wendy's.
Handing back the burgers to the back seat.
From that point on, I was family. I was part of the family with Mr. C, and he never stopped making me feel like part of the family. I also took away that you always cut your burger in half. And from that point on, I've always cut my cheeseburger in half.
He's always concerned about our diet. So every time he brought in a box of donuts, he made sure to cut those in half. Of course, that meant that he could have an extra half a donut, or a second half a donut, or a third half a donut.
He would say, it would be me and my manager, we'd be sitting there, these numbers are a little soft. I think you guys are getting a little lackadaisy out there. And we'd look at each other, "Yes, Mr. Cashman." It's like I always say, a chicken in the pot is worth 2 turkeys on the roof.
And I'm thinking, this guy is insane. He's 80 years old, and he's like up pacing us.
You'd be working away, and he'd get in there. No, do it this way. Turn him this way. Da da da. He's like, "Okay, boss, we'll do." So.
Thank you so much, Morgan Cashman. We love you so much, and you're always going to be in our hearts.
Mr. and Mrs. C, thank you for Cashman Photo, to allowing a vagabond to settle down and build a home and a great place to work. You will be missed.
Thank you. I'll miss you.
Morgan, I hope that you are in a happy, warm, loving place now. You certainly were here in Vegas, but we will miss you.
I love you, Mr. C, and you are sorely missed.
You'll be greatly missed and cherished forever.
Rest in paradise, Mr. C. You did it Morgan Cashman's way.
I want you to know that I think everybody here will do all they can in the future to make sure the success of this great company, the one you founded, continues.
We're going to continue forward to try to be the best people that we can be, and we're going to do that to honor the great Morgan Cashman.
Wherever you're at, Mr. C, I hope you're hitting royal after royal.
Thank you, Mr. Cashman, for everything you've provided for us, and you're going to be dearly missed.
I think most importantly, I want you to know a couple things. One is that I am so grateful that I have had you in my life for so long. We as a collective group of people here at Cashman, starting with Karen, myself, and everyone, are absolutely committed to carrying the legacy of Cashman Photo on for many, many, many generations to come. I don't say goodbye, I say I love you. You will be with us forever, every single day, every moment of every hour, because you're a part of us.